Hi friends, I'm going to make a simple wall pocket out of this little mini cutting board I have. So the first thing I did was paint it with some Waverly plaster. Next I used my spatula with some Waverly lavender and just scraped that around the edge and in some random spots on my cutting board. You can find a set of these little spatulas at Dollar Tree. So then the next thing I did was take my Gator sander and sand it around the edges to distress it even more. And then I'm going to use some burlap, and I'm going to cut my burlap to the size that I want it using that little trick where you pull out a thread and then cut it off in a straight line. The burlap is going to be the bottom layer, but I'm going to layer some fabric on top of it. So I have this cute blue and white striped fabric. I'm going to use this. And then I have also this little piece of fabric with coffee cups or little teacups on it. I think it's cute. I just glued that together, and then I'm going to glue down my pocket on the front, and I make sure that I have the pocket kind of raised. You want to actually make a pocket that you can put stuff in, and you don't want to pull it too tight. So I'm just using the end of my paintbrush so I don't get burnt by that hot glue. But I just fix my little pocket, and then I'm going around the edge with some dark sealing wax and just distressing this even more. And I ended up distressing on top of the fabric as well. Now you don't have to do this. This might be too much for some people, and that's understandable. Just leave it plain if you want. You just do you. So now I'm taking some dried florals that I actually kept from my Mother's Day bouquet that my daughter gave me. So I always kind of look at my florals and say, is that something I can craft with? And these worked out perfectly. I used some Spanish moss, and then I just added those little purple dry florals in there, and I just think it looks super cute. And then I took some jute twine and made a little finger bow that I'm going to glue up here in the corner. And then I have this cute little heart-shaped button that I'm going to put in the center of my bow. And then lastly, I'm going to finish this off with a strip of leather. I got a whole package of leather scraps from Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to cut a piece of leather off to tie in the top of my cutting board. I think this little project turned out super precious. Let me know what you think. I always love to hear your thoughts. Thank you for watching.